Alright, welcome to Automation. This is a game, the whole thing is a thing I should have covered like 2 months ago when it was new. Not 2 months ago, maybe like, I don't know, something like a month and a half ago. When Automation and BeamNG collaborated and you could import your automation cars into BeamNG and drive them, and that was really cool. I knew about Automation for a couple of years now, but I never played it because I don't know, it looked cool, but it wasn't like in my priority or anything. But now that it's collaborated with BeamNG, it's like, okay, we can build our own cars, and now there's a lot of customization in the game, and we can put them into BeamNG, and that's great. So, I've made a number of cars, but basically I'll make a car today. I'll demonstrate how that's like if you have never played Automation. So, we'll see how this goes. So right now it's in early access. There used to be a light campaign, but it's gone now. Maybe you can play in a legacy build or something, but basically, so you just there's some tutorials and challenges. Like the tutorial, just like basically, it's not much. It's like a video that's not going to load here, and challenges are just little things you can do. So the game gives you something like that, something like holdover or whatever. But we're here for the sandbox, so I built a number of nonsense cars and small engine cars and stuff, but we're going to build something new. So you just do a new model here, and basically you can pick from like all the decades, from down to the 40s until present day, maybe I think even in the future you can go to 2020 or something. But we're going to build something from like the 50s because I like old designs and stuff. But yeah, this game gives you a lot of options for that kind of thing. Right now it's not deciding not to load. There we go. So you have like a bunch of 40s designs here. And then if we go up a bit, you get yourself some later cars, even later cars. So you see how they're all kind of reminiscent of real vehicles. Like you can tell what that is, and you know what this vehicle, and it's all quite reminiscent, which is fine because you need something. You need like a place to start, basically. So I'm not sure what to build here. I might actually just go with something like this and build the cabriolet, probably that, or a sedan or something. So then after you pick a body family, then you pick your materials, and I'm gonna go with just this is gonna be a standard production car. So we can go steel. And basically each one of these affects the difference, like production, the costing, and all that stuff. You see all the things being affected here. Some of these you can't do because they're not mass production things, so they won't be available for the general public. So we're just going to go basic here. Probably just this is a little bit higher quality, this is normal quality. Got to go with a front engine because that's what this body style's for. Some body styles obviously can accommodate mid or rear engines. So we're going to go with double wishbone here, and then probably something like a solid axle, some just standard stuff. And you see the visual changes happening here. The front has more advanced suspension, while the back is something a little more simplistic. And then you get to pick your engine. So I'm probably just going to go with something like an inline, maybe like a 6 or something. And this is the visual representation of the engine, and you can choose the size, the bore, or the stroke. And I kind of feel like going with something that's, I don't know, maybe like 3 liter would be good, but the engine size, if the body can accommodate the engine size, then you can build something bigger. You can see that this body doesn't really, you can see how this is. This is about its limit right here. You can't build it any bigger than that. So I'm going to go with something like it's exactly 3.4 liter or something. Then you pick your heads and valves. We're just going to go with something basic. Yeah, it's a very basic car. Everything takes a little while to load. Something basic, little car like this. So you see how I don't know what this is. Basically just like the length of it, whatever. This engine's quite large. I mean, in my standards at least. So then we're just going to pick some cast iron or something. And then, yeah, just heavy duty's good for lower RPMs or something. Stuff like, I don't know, big trucks or whatever. I'm not into that. Variant capacity, I don't really touch these things, but if you change these, then there might be some better economy stats, or in this case, higher RPM or something. And we're not going to touch these until we have the engine built, because you'll have to change those things anyway. Fuel systems, we're just going to go with probably like a single barrel or something, a single carburetor, standard. And then we can choose, obviously, as the technologies improve and you move up the decades, all these configurations, there'll be more of them. And that will result in better engines and more powerful, better economy and all that stuff. That's just naturally a progression with that kind of thing. Probably just some basic fuel here. Headers, I don't really know, some normal nonsense. We're going to make the car a little bit quieter, so some baffled mufflers, I guess. And of course we're going to have some serious problems with this kind of thing at the beginning here. So what we can do is we go back to this. I figured this out eventually. If you lower the compression, it doesn't look, you can see these performance things in the corners here. You see how it's going down, but if you just keep going, eventually you'll see that the knocking and stuff will go away. Unless it's not really present here. Okay, I guess not then. Alright, well, because I've been working with it, apparently not. Okay, so this should do something, definitely. No, okay. Let me just see. We're gonna have to tweak around here a little bit. This, yeah, you need to lower this down the RPM limit, or else you're gonna have some problems. So let's see, our engine is really trash. It's a little bit odd though that this is happening. I might have to sit around here forever, figure this out. Ah, there we go. That has improved it a little bit. Tone down the knocking a little bit there. You can obviously increase the quality, which will just naturally make the engine better, but we're going to leave it like this. This should... Alright, this is how we fix this. Okay, I see. So you just tweak the engine, tweak the fuel mix, all these little things you can do. You'll see how it will improve the car and all that stuff. So we're going to make it a little bit more ideal here. Rather not have any knocking going on. It would just be sucking. You can do this or move it up or something. See what kind of power you can get. Apparently this engine's very shit, so we're not getting much power out of it. Sometimes tweaking the exhaust will give you some extra power because this is looking like it's not doing us very many favors. So we're gonna keep it up here then. Yeah, that's about the best. Not a very powerful engine we got here. It is like a inline 6 or something, but it's not really doing very well. If I could spend like half an hour tweaking this engine and making it fantastic, but I don't think it's really necessary. This is literally just a demonstration of what you can do. So if it's far from perfect, then so be it, I guess. Let's go back here. Yeah, this is just screwing things up here. That doesn't do much help. I think 80 horsepower is decent. It's pretty bad, to be honest, especially for like a large engine like that. That's pretty bad. Anyway, so you can test the sound of your engine. You can look at the engine. You can see how it performs while it's moving. It's going to get pretty loud. Hopefully not too loud, but basically that's a very interesting popping noises. It's probably a bad thing. You can toggle things. You can see the insides working. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do with this game. A lot of very mechanical things going on. I think that's a great thing. If you're really into this kind of thing, this is fantastic. The only thing I want from this game, like really want from this game, is the ability to have V4s and, what is it, like flat 6s and stuff. I think I don't know. Can you have flat 6s? I think there's a boxer, but I don't know if it's actually a flat 6 or anything. You can't have inline 8s either, which kind of sucks to me. All right, this here I didn't talk about this. These are like things that go on with your car. So, like this car can suffer from. Basically, it will tell you when there's some problems with your vehicle. Some things are going to be more serious than others. Like yellows are pretty minor problems for the most part. And sometimes it's not the case. So we're having some problems with the engine. We can, of course, what does it say here, for example? Like, engine's running too rich, so you can run on a leaner fuel mixture or something. I don't think that will really do anything. All it does is just turn up the knocking. I don't want that. So we can reduce the RPM limit. Yeah, it says here that the performance is really bad, but it doesn't affect the peak performance, so I don't know what they're talking about. You see all these little things here, like smoothness. I think that's like the rumble from the engine. Obviously, if it's a V16, it's going to be very smooth and shit like that. Throttle response, I'm not really sure what that is, to be honest. Like how well it reacts to pressing the gas pedal. Loudness, well, go figure. The amount of cooling you need for your engines, the maintenances, and the fuel. This is your octane value. Of course, if you increase the octane value, you can build a better engine. But this is going to be a more, I guess, economy car. You can see this should be an insanely good figure. That's, I mean, 4.7 sounds a little bit ridiculous. You'll be able to see all these things by the end of this. So we've gotten all this figured out. Let me pick a body. I'm just, you know, considering that this car doesn't have the engines, the sports cars and stuff, we're just gonna go with some kind of sedan or something. So let's just pick this. And after you pick a body, you can just, yeah, this is how you look like. And you can switch things. You can do that kind of nonsense with the cars. You can maybe do it like this. This one doesn't. Oh yeah, okay. You can angle it down a little. I think that looks a little better. You could spend all day. We're gonna make it short because the engine's. I don't know. Is the engine really that big? It is quite large and quite underpowered. Small wheel arches. You can change this. There's a lot of things you can do here. Like this, for example. Make it bigger, smaller. Gonna make it smaller. It looks better. Oh, yeah, I think lower is better, to be honest. Change that kind of thing going on here. Maybe make it a little bit like, yeah. Yeah, something like that. It looks okay, I guess. And then once you're done with this, oh, we have a little bit more here. Okay. Okay. Anyway, you have your body. You paint it something like black or gray or something gross like this. Let's go around here a little bit. Maybe I'd like to have more shine and then just mess around with this one. You know what? It doesn't have to be anything fantastic. I'll just have that like that. And then after you have that, then is where you modify the appearance of your car that's not the shape. You put things like lights and stuff on it. Considering I can already see what this car looks like, we're just going to put something that's more fitting. Something like, oh yeah, look at these. Yesterday, I think, or the day before yesterday, they put out some update that allowed for, no, it just added a lot of shit. So, like these lights, for instance, I've never seen. Now this one doesn't. It looks. This doesn't have to be much of a looker. It's just a commuting vehicle, you know. So we have some of that, and then we put some tail lights on the car. Maybe something like, oh boy, this could take years. You can change, the thing is, if you're not really sure, I don't think it applies for these lights, but you can change the decade. So pick something that might be more suited for this decade or something, maybe something like that. Wow, there's a lot of new ones here. I didn't notice it. What is this all about? That's quite interesting. Might look better when we're in Beam, to be honest. So let's just put something like rounded lights. It looks kind of, wow. Maybe they should go on these edges here. No, I don't think that's right. Yeah, that looks a little weird. Sure, we'll go with it, honestly. Then we need some kind of indicators. Some rear lights have indicators already, but front lights generally don't, so we gotta put something here. There's some modded, I have some mod items because, well, that kind of thing. That's something that's like this or whatever. Do I want it like there or maybe here or something? I could spend forever working on this. That looks, yeah, that's fine, to be honest. Maybe, and then we need a grill because the air has to go somewhere or come in from somewhere. Something like that, maybe. My problem is that this body it's kind of odd. Like, I mean, dude, this is, oh my god, I mean, and then these parts are gonna be like nothing. You know what? I'll just deal with that. Let's move it up a bit because we need space for a license plate or something. And then if you want, you can put vents or something. Considering this is a huge engine, it's probably going to need some ventilation. So we'll just add some. Can I? No? Okay, there we go, yeah. Just put it like, yeah. Wow, nice sports car, man. We don't need any scoops on this car. I generally don't like to fumble around with things like that because it doesn't fit the time period. Don't need a spoiler. There's like wings and like lips and like massive things like this. If it's not, yeah, it's not really aligned to the car, but yeah, if you really want a spoiler, you can do that. We need a fuel cap because how else are we gonna get moving? So we just plop it down somewhere, maybe like boop, and some door handles. Nah, we don't need. This is the 50s. Why you have a lock on a car, dude? Let's have something like this, and of course they are symmetrical. This is kind of, it's too large. Maybe I can make it smaller. That does look odd, doesn't it? Oh, you know what? We'll deal with it. It doesn't look fantastic. And then we have some mirrors. I generally like to go with rounded mirrors if it's a time period. So maybe like these ones. I like these ones. These ones are good. Just put it somewhere, maybe. I usually like to make them a little larger because it doesn't make sense to have tiny mirrors. How can you see out of them? Yeah, that's fine and all. Some aerials. We don't need to worry about an aerial. I don't think this car. Should I put a radio? Yeah, I'll put a radio in this car, I guess. Then you have some weird license plates, like FAP 365. Nice. You know what? We'll just go with like Eco white license plate or something. Boom. And do we need it on the front? I mean, thing is, were cars of this day really having front license plates? You know, I don't think so. I don't think it even. Some cars today don't even have it either. And now we put a bumper on the car. You don't necessarily have to do this, but we're gonna do it. Like, well, this is kind of a small one. If you enlarge it, then it's gonna look stupid. I mean, yeah, that's odd looking. Yeah, we'll just keep it like that. This kind of already has a molded bumper here. Do I need anything really? I mean, sure, maybe something small. Something like that looks better, I think. And then, of course, it molds itself to the back here. Looking a little weird. That's okay. It does its job. Kind of. Yeah, it'll work. Then you have a badge. So, you pick a nice badge, put it on your car. Maybe like, yeah, okay. Sure, that'll do. Just put it like, I don't know, maybe like under here or something. Ooh, I don't know. I would put it in the middle, but, and then we have it at the front. Voila, and it's absolutely fantastic. Seems to be a little gaps here. This is strange. Might be from the light or something. Sometimes there are little glitches like that. I want to see what that's going to look like in game. It's going to be odd. Then we pick a rim that will fit. We're going to go something, I don't know, maybe like those. I don't know. Like those maybe. Yeah, okay. We'll just stick with those. Then you pick an exhaust tip. We can go dual exhaust because we're cool, or just a singular exhaust. Now, the unfortunate part is that it doesn't connect to anything, so it just looks kind of dumb. I wish there would be some sort of drivetrain or something that you could not like an exhaust pipe it would connect to, like a exhaust system. But there's nothing. No drivetrain under the car. Not even in Beam. You just see it connects to nothing. Also, where's my engine? It should be in there, and it's not in there. That's a little strange. No engine. That's good. Okay. Miscellaneous features, if you want to put like turbo badges or some weird RS things or whatever nonsense, you can do that. But, is that EA for early access? Cool. yeah, that will do. It doesn't look fantastic, I know, but I mean, it's yeah, it's okay, I guess. And after you think your ride is beautiful, then you move on to the dynamics. So we can pick front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, 4x4. Well, considering this is a 50s car, front wheel drive wasn't really common yet. It might have existed on a couple cars, but generally we're going rear wheel drive. Ooh, nice. So sometimes that happens too, where everything decides to like move around for a little bit. We're gonna go with a automatic. Was quite uncommon, wasn't it? Especially in 52. We're gonna go with manual. Maybe like a 3-speed. A differential. We're probably gonna go with a open diff. Tire choice will be like a hard, long life road tires. Depending on the rim size and the arches, you can have bigger wheels, and then they'll be wider and better for turning and stuff. This is not a turning car. This car is meant for not much. So SLS or 2LS drums? Well, we're going to go with the better brakes, because last I checked, the brakes from this time period are terrible. We'll deal with all this stuff a little later. I don't need to worry about any under trays. Yeah, this will be a 5-seat car, or like a bench seat at the back, because that's what was going on back then. Maybe at the front too. Do I want that? A bench seat at the front? Yeah, this will be a comfy car. Maybe a standard interior with a radio? Ooh, budget car. Safety will be standard. And now we have our statisticos. You can pick some presets. I usually just go with some like comfort. And you can see at what speeds your car will be starting to do some kind of understeery stuff. Basically, if it goes this way, it's understeering. If the curve is going upwards, it's oversteering. I think this is pretty good. The cornering is only 7. You know, that doesn't matter. The suspension's very bouncy. That's okay, I think. We don't need to. There's going to be a lot of things going wrong here. The brake force is very bad. The ride frequency is crap. We don't care about sportiness, honestly. I mean, it's not going to make a... I mean, I could increase... Let's see what happens when we just tweak some things here. No, this is just makeshift force. Increase drivability, maybe? Be a good idea, I think. Yeah, as you... No one's really interested. It has to do with the seat count and stuff. This is not a fantastic car. What can I do? We're going to improve the brakes, because that's not a good braking distance, I'll tell you that right now. So improve the brakes. 55 is like this. That would have been a great braking distance from this time period. I think the average nowadays is about 0.4. Or, sorry, 40 meters. But, yeah, back then, I don't know, the handling is poor. It doesn't need to be great. The biggest problem with this is it's supposed to be like a sedan-y thing, but I think the biggest problems with this vehicle are... I'm not really sure, because I want to see the price of it as well. That's a huge factor. Let's see. Ooh, estimated top speed, a little almost a few miles an hour. We can increase that here. We're not going to be hitting top speeds, are we? We're just going to put it like that, I guess. Yeah, you know what? 150 km an hour would have been okay, I think, for the time. Early 50s. I think 100 mile an hour is considered a pretty decently quick car. So if we're getting like 16.9 seconds to 100, a top speed of about 150, you know what? That's not bad, actually, for this time period. You know, we'll just do the spacing as it is. I mean, shifting to second at 49 and then shifting to third at 80 something. This will obviously affect things like the fuel economy and whatnot. This is okay, to be honest. And then if you want, alright, so before you have all, this is like your overall thing. There's a 4-door, 3-speed manual. That's a fairly heavy car for the time. Well, actually, cars back then were pretty heavy too. I mean, I think cars, there's a phase. Like, cars back then were pretty heavy, and then around like the 60s and 70s and 80s, they got lighter, and now they're back to being really heavy again, so. Yeah, so it's inline 6, blah blah blah, 80 horse and 4,500 RPM, which is good for economy because if it's revving too high, then I don't know. It's just markets. You can see from the different fictional countries where people might buy this car. So it's kind of like a moderate car in these areas. It's not really like it's like average. It's not as in people are going to rush out and buy it. It's like it will get something done here. In Fruenia, looks like people will be using as a utility sport vehicle, maybe because it has a lot of seats and potentially some room and it's more comfy or something, so it's good for like driving. And as a pony car, mainly because it has a big engine, it's rear-wheel drive, but generally, yeah, it's practical, but it's not very powerful. Is it a pony car? Not really, because it's not 2 doors, man. It's not a Stang. It has nothing to do with Stang, but okay, if you say so, that's fine. An Arcana looks like people will be buying it as a utility premium vehicle, or utility sport premium. I would say just a regular utility, or utility budget, but apparently not, yeah. Body type penalty. Seat count penalty. But yeah, it's by this game's standards, $7,600 is cheap. It's a cheap car, it is not expensive, and you can go out and buy it, and all that good nonsense. Hedvesia, not really anybody interested in that one. And Deluha, this car won't even make it there, man. Good luck seeing one on the road. It's got 0. But I'm actually pretty impressed by this. 25 drivability is whatever. 3.3, it's not really sporty at all. Comfort is a little better than usual. Prestige is whatever. Safety is, for this time period, 17 is not bad. A very practical car. This is a pretty high practical rating, to be honest. Not very utility. Apparently it's pretty good off-road, and it's quite reliable. Environmental resistance, whatever. Footprint is whatever. 801 liter? Damn, that's a lot. Passenger volume, a lot of passenger volume, blah blah blah. Fuel economy. This could be a really shit fuel economy, to be honest. Let's find out. If you go here, then you can see why your points are the way they are. Y is drivability 25, and you'll see the different things are going on here. Now I'm looking at the fuel economy. It's really poor. Holy shit. Actually, is that really poor? 59.4 liter what? This could be really bad. And maybe that's why people aren't buying it in some places, because of its absolutely, possibly atrocious fuel economy. So after you're done with your vehicle, you can name it or something, and then blah blah blah. But the real thing is you test it on the airfield or on the automation track. The thing is that you can drive this one in Beam, which is probably what I'll end up doing. So we're just going to go airfield, and then you can see how your car performs. It's probably not going to do very well. That's okay. So you can either sit here and watch, or you can speed it up, or you can skip it altogether. Honestly, if it's not under 2 minutes, that's okay. If it has to be, I will be very disappointed if it's under 2:30. That would be a very appalling figure, to be honest. I'm going to slow things down a little bit here. I think it's going to get under 2 minutes, which is pretty good by my book for such an old piece of crap. Yeah, 157, well, whatever. This is a sedan from the early 50s. I don't expect any kind of insane figures. It's only got a few problems with it. Nothing too serious. So this is an okay car by my book. So what you do is, after you're done, you just exit out. Exit out here, find our Model 1 Trim 1, and then you just export it. When you're happy with this, you just look at the car. Is it missing anything? It might be missing something that's essential for a vehicle, but generally, that's not too bad, I think. Well, yeah. Now we're going to move on to BeamNG.drive and show you what this car is like in Beam.
Alright, now we're in Beam. So you just pick a map, then you pick the car that you imported, so this one. And then you just select the default color, which is usually the second one. And voila, we're in with the car. It looks okay. sounds. All the sounds and stuff are imported, so some of the sounds are okay. Like the turbo noise is pretty bad, but yeah. So yeah, that's the engine, and unfortunately there's no drivetrain, so which means there's no mufflers either. So just it does kind of suck, but oh well. This is the car. It doesn't look too terrible, but I don't know how it drives. We'll see. It's probably terrible. So you just take it for a spin, some wheel spin, even though we only have 80 horse something. Not very good at accelerating. You can choose between a few different views. So like hood view or like I guess driver view, like from the window or something. And just drive around with your own car. What else? The damage isn't as sophisticated as in the normal Beam cars, obviously. And like the detail is okay. It imports it pretty good. Most of your fixtures will work properly and stuff. The lights work. Oh goodness, this thing is, oh my. A little good bit of lag, just some good old BeamNG lag there. Lights work. How about the blinkers? Yep, blinkers work. Reverse lights. Yep. So yeah, I want to see the handling though, the actual handling characteristic of this vehicle. But yeah, you can. So yeah, you just build any car, take it for a drive. You can do everything you want with it. Also, we're not doing very good on the whole 0 to 60 here. Probably isn't helping that we're going a bit uphill. Yeah, I'm sure we can do a much better 0 to 60 time than that. Just need to find a good bit of flat place. I don't know. What was the top speed of this? 150? Why am I going off? Oh boy. Yeah, handling. Even if I try and see it sliding all over the place. I'm probably not the greatest driver either. No, this thing, it's not meant to be a sports car. I'm not supposed to be driving at a high speed. Let's reset it here. A little bit of weirdo damage here. Another thing that I've noticed, sometimes when you have grills on these cars, they tend to do this weird hexagonal effect. I don't know how to fix that, honestly. At least we get a little bit of wheel spin out of this engine. That's nice. Let's just do it down here. I know it's not the straightest road, but if I had mapped the clutch to something, it would have been easier to launch, but no, I have to use neutral. This mono controller having a clutch bound to something is a bit impractical. And then we're going uphill, which means rip 0 to 60 time. Yeah, I can do better. And the braking, how's the braking? I think I looked at it, it wasn't too bad. But let's see, let's get it up to about 100 here. That's actually not bad for such an old car. 53 meters without ABS and stuff. That's not so bad. So yeah. But I think we're going to go take it to the automation test track and see how that's going to fare. Alright, so here we are at the automation test track. And I haven't tested this. I haven't actually tested my best cars, my 2 best cars that I've made. I've driven them a bit, but I haven't tested them on this track, so I have no idea if they're going to be better than this car. Probably. I mean, most definitely. Let's have a go. Let's see how this thing goes, how it performs. There might be mistakes in this lap because I haven't driven this car on this lap before, this track. So, yeah. Yeah. Not perfect, I know. If I was going a little slower, it would have been a bit better on that turn. Oh my. Not the most stable thing on the planet here. See, the RPM is bouncing around a bit too. It's not really a smooth increase, it's just kind of doing whatever. Should probably brake a little early because... yeah. Let's go down to the first gear. Because I have no idea how slow I'd be going if I just stuck to second. Let's just try from this view. This view is usually what I like to drive in. It works best because you're not so low like on the hood. I have to brake there? Really, man? With some of my better cars, I can go around this at like 75. But here we have to slow down. Let's see what kind of speed we get on the straight here. This might be where this car does a little bit okay. Will we reach the 150 km/h thing? Probably not. Because that's just a theoretical top speed. Well, 145, 46, well, it's not so bad. We did actually reach the RPM limiter there, so that's good. We're gonna have to brake pretty bad for this. I know even some of the better handling cars have problems here, so I'm gonna brake a little bit here. We have to brake quite a bit. This turn doesn't look so bad, it's bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bad turn. Might have lost a lot of time there. I should have just braked when I thought it was necessary instead of just doing like some tapping. That's not so bad. You can see the G meter doesn't go very high. We're not exactly exceeding. I think the best. This car's steering is like what, 0.71 G. It's not very good, is it? I have to brake here as well. Man, lots of sliding with those tires. Not very much grip on these. I mean, obviously, if I put medium tires on this thing, it would probably do a lot better. But this was never meant to be a race car. This is supposed to be like a car that has good, like, long, like, road capability, like comfort and stuff. But I say that, but the fuel consumption is pretty awful, like very awful, like 30 liters per 100. That's pretty bad, like 25-ish. So how's the time? Yeah, it doesn't quite beat my faster cars around here. That's unfortunate. I didn't expect it to. It has some, like, whatever speed, but the handling is just so bad that it kind of ruined everything. It's okay. But yeah, perhaps I might make some more cars in the future. Do some automation testing, do some BeamNG testing. And yeah. But that's kind of it. I just wanted to show this in case you haven't seen it yet or you wanted me to do this kind of video. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be back with something in the coming weeks. And also, yeah, bye-bye for now.